Today we are going to cover the topic GST report. So to go to the GST report, to cover up what is GST, to discuss what's the GST report, first of all we have to discuss few topics which are relates with the GST report. Right? Now, before studying the GST report, we have to know what is the supply of the goods, what is the supply of the goods and how the GST is implemented in supply of the goods and services. What is supply? After that, again, we have to know how the ITC plays role. What is ERP? How ERP helps in ITC? Together, all these ITC, ERP, how it helps in preparing the report. That report is GST report. So ultimately, we have to prepare under the GST the report, which helps to know the financial position, which helps to know the ultimate calculations, ultimate deductions under the GST. Report shows the exact financial status of a business. So now for that purpose, what are the terms I have used? First of all, we have to know what is ITC. Then we have to know what is ERP. Okay. So there are certain procedure, ERP, enterprise resource planning, enterprise resource procedure. So what are the procedures we have to implement? Before studying all those things, let us go for what is supply. So the supply includes all sorts of sales, different type of transactions, and it mainly takes place in terms of the money. As we are doing business, so it should be under the terms of monetary transactions. So any kind of transactions, sales, exchange, barter, everything comes under the supply of goods. This supply of goods includes GST in every steps. We have already discussed all these things in case of the export, import and all. So what if we have already studied about what is export, what is import, how we have to bring the commodities from the outside market, how we have to send our goods to the outside market, and for that purpose, what are the GST we have to pay. So that's all we have already discussed all these things. Now let us see what is the meaning of the supply. Exactly the meaning we don't want, but what are the activities involved in the supply, those things are required under the GST. Supply means it is a transactions, it is a goods. They are exchanging from one trader to the another trader, one businessman to the another businessman. So I'm supplying the goods. That means what? I have a manufacturing concern or I have a trading concern from where I can give the goods to the another trader for the purpose of trading only. So that is the supply of goods, right? So two parties are always there in case of the supply of goods. So supply defines under section 7 of the CGST Act. For GST purpose, the supply means all those goods which comes under the GST Act, CGST Act, Central Goods and Service Tax Act, CGST. So here all the items which this act considered as the goods for GST only will be considered, only will be taken into consideration. Now, it includes sales, transfer, exchanges, barter, all these things. Nowadays, of course, the barter system is almost vanished. It is almost not there in any of the country or it is not considered as because in case of the barter system, it's very difficult to find out the value of a product in case of the exchange because the value of the product may not be same at the time of exchanging because as we know and most probably you also know what is barter system. Barter system is nothing but the exchange of goods against goods. That means there is no monetary transactions over there. Still in few countries for few commodities the system are there, but in that case we have to find out the value of that product perfectly because we cannot exchange a 5 rupees product against a 50 rupees products. It is injustice. The people will not agree with that. So that is why it is advisable and it is mandatory, you can say, under the act under any of the act, under the GST Act we are studying, so under the GST Act, that it should be in terms of the consideration. The word which we have used, made for consideration. Consideration is the amount of money implemented for a particular item. Any item, if you are going to sell, any property, if you are going to sell or purchase, there should be a valuation. Even if you are going to sell your business, own business, it also has certain valuations. So that valuation, when you find out, that is known as what? Consideration. The amount of total money at which you are going to sell your business, you are going to sell your product, is known as the consideration. So in case of supply, any exchange, any transactions, it should be in terms of the consideration. That means it should be under the monetary value. So that you can implement the taxation, you can implement the percentage. It is required to calculate, because calculation is required here. So to do the calculation, to implement the percentage, definitely you have to know what is the value of that product. Without valuing the product, how can you find out the 30%, 20%, 10%? Not possible. So that's why to value the product in terms of money is very, very necessary to find out the GST. So that's why it has been said that one of the characteristics of supply of goods is what? Consideration. Next is what? It covers the furtherance of the business, of course, and basis for levy of GST. So these are the supply is the basis. The supply and the monetary value is the basis for GST, with which GST can be calculated. So out of these all characteristics, consideration is the most and most important characteristics together with the exchange. Whenever exchange takes place, the consideration comes. Whenever the consideration comes, it is very easy for a business to find out the GST. And on the basis of consideration only, the supply of goods GST has been calculated. Supplying, did you understand what is supplying now? Supplying means you are sending the goods from one place to the another place against the consideration. So this is all about the supply of goods where the GST is implemented. Now let us see what is the next topic, types of supply under the GST. Supply means sending the goods to somebody else, from one trader to the another trader, okay, for the purpose of trading, of course. Now, what are the different types of supply of goods where GST is implemented? That is normal supply, composite supply, mixed supply, classification effects, tax rate, invoice, GST compliance. So we got three type of supplies. The first three things are the types of supply. And against what we get for this supply, what are the effects? So the supply is what? Normal supply, composite supply, and the mixed supply. So yesterday I have discussed, the last class I have discussed what what is composite supply, what is mixed supply, how the tax is calculated on composite supply as well as the mixed supply. Of course, I did not use the word supply. Now the word supply has been there. So what we have discussed, composite goods as well as the mixed goods, composite exchange as well as the mixed exchange. So normal supply is nothing, anything if you send to somebody else as a trader, and some trader will purchase from you in a bulk or only one item or one composition. Normally, if a trader purchase from you as a businessman any sort of commodities, that is known as supply of normal goods. Normally, any item. Suppose, for example, you have a toy factory. You are a manufacturer of the toys. The traders are coming to you, the traders came to you just to buy toys. You are the supplier. You are the manufacturer. Manufacturer, supplier may be same or may not be same. Here I am mentioning as an example that you are a supplier of toys as well as the manufacturer of toys. That means toys are manufactured in your factory, and from your factory, the traders are buying. That means you are supplying to the buyers, to the traders. So any one type of toys, plastic toys, you are supplying to some traders. It's normal. You was like individually you are selling it to the traders. Individual items. 100 piece of panda plastic toys. So you are supplying, that is a normal supply. But whenever this composite supply comes, it is not a normal supply. You have to blend two items together and there will be a mixture of something else. Then that is known as what? Composite supply. Mostly it comes in case of the mixing of two or three items together. But there should not be any own identity. There should not be any own identity. You cannot identify that this is what, this is that, this is that. No, there should be a composition. So I give you an example. What was example on the what we have discussed? That was a Maruti car. Now I can give you the toy company we are taking. So in case of the toy company, you have already manufactured a plastic toy. And with the plastic toy, you have to add certain accessories, certain clothing, and different type of decorations. So all these will come from different suppliers, from different units. You are making plastic toys. One very beautiful toy with a girl child you are making. Now, to decorate that one, you need clothes from some other industry, small toy clothes. You need maybe some accessories to put it in her hand. You need some accessories for the hairs. So these kind of things, ultimately it is a mixed one. It's a blended one. So what happened in that case? Different type of organizations or institutions are involved with you to manufacture all those accessories which you need to complete your product. So in that case, that is a composite product. There is no identity of all those items separately. Identity is only one. That is what? Barbie, the doll of Barbie. But to make that doll of Barbie doll, you need different type of units, different type of suppliers to complete your product. So that is the composite supply. This is an example only. This is an example only. Now, you just go for mixed supply. So in case of mixed supply, what happened? It's a gift hamper. Mostly it is considered as a gift hamper where the identity of the products are different. Separately, you can identify all the product mixed in a box. And there also, you cannot buy the product separately. You cannot buy the product separately. What you have to do, if you want to buy the product, in case of the mixed supply, you have to buy the entire set. Entire set, the hamper you have to buy. So, three the categories of supplies we get, that is for the product separately. Somebody can supply only the normal product, somebody can supply composite product blended, and somebody may supply the mixed product. So for these three cases, what we have to do, the tax rate has been separately calculated. For in case of the normal supply, what happened, the tax rate is always on the product, whatever the product, the value of the product, and the category of the product, of course. It depends on the category of the product also. So tax rate will be implemented on the basis of the product. So in case of the composite supply, once again the blended one, so from different sources it comes. So ultimately whatever they have decided, the ultimate product value, it always comes on under the ultimate product value, not on single products. All comes together in one place. We have to find out the total product value. Whatever the total product value, on that total product, this composite supply comes. Tax comes. For this composite supply, the tax comes on the total value of the product. But you have to be very careful when the term mixed supply comes, because in mixed supply, variety of items will be there. So we have to consider the highest rate of the items which bears the highest rate of taxation. So if 6, 7 products are there, out of the 6, 7 products, one product has the highest value and highest rate of tax. So you have to consider that one only, not the rest of the product. So in this case, what happened? The classification, this classification affects the tax rate. This classification affects the invoices. The preparation of invoice is also different. GST compliance is also different. So that is why, for the purpose of accounting of GST, it is very necessary to classify the supply, and on the basis of the classification of the supply only, the GST has been calculated. GST has been implemented after calculation. Okay, this is all about the supply under the GST. Now let us see what is composite supply. Not exactly what is composite supply, how it is implemented, what GST has been calculated. Okay, so it is defined under the section 2 subsection 30 of the CGST Act. Whatever the product you are supplying as a businessman, that has to be there in certain act mentioned in the CGST. That is, the central government always fixed all these act. Which product will come where? The composite product comes under the section 2. All comes under section 2. The subsections are separate. All comes under the section 2, but subsections are different. So in case of the composite supply, it comes under same CGST Act under the section 2, but subsection 30 of the CGST Act. Two or more taxable supplies should be there in case of the composite supply. Naturally blended, as I told you, it should be blended naturally, supplied together in ordinary course of time, and one principal supply should be there. That one principal supply is none other than the total product, the ultimate product. Not exactly the total product also, ultimate product. So that is known as the one principal supply. Okay, so ultimate product. And there should be a base for that. On that base, the all other things comes and they are blended together for a composite supply. Fine. Composite supply examples. What are the examples? Goods, weights, freight, and insurance. This is composite supply. Mobile phone with charger. It's a composite supply. Hotel accommodation with the breakfast. Generally, we come to hear that there is a complimentary dishes. Wow, we feel very happy. Why? In a hotel, when we book a room, mostly they have said, breakfast is complimentary. Very interesting. We find very good. We are excited. What type of breakfast we will get? So that is what that is a composite supply. So in case of hotel business, mostly the composite supplies takes place. Next is work content. So these are different kind of lot of different supplies are there. You can get example for the composite supply. Few are here only. So most probably you understand what is the composite supply. When one thing comes with the another as a complementary, even in Air Force air ticket also. If you fly there also, nowadays it's very common that you have a complimentary food included in the ticket. So when it is included in the ticket fare plus that complimentary food added, and your ticket fare is one only. And in that case, the tax will also considered in that amount. Though you find it very good, wow, I am getting complimentary food. But what they did? They put the GST there. If your ticket fare is 5,000, complimentary is 1,000, they will add 5,000 plus 1,000, so it will become 6,000. And when the GST is calculated, they will calculate not only your ticket, they will calculate on 6,000. That is along with the complimentary food. You think it is complimentary, but government is charging from you and they are calculating GST, goods and service tax. So this is known as what? Composite supply. Let us see the composite supply tax treatment. We got composite supply, meaning we got example of the composite supply. Now tax treatment. Tax rate of principal supply is applicable. Single GST rate is charged, not double GST, because it's a blended item. We cannot charge twice or thrice. No separate taxation for ancillary items. Ancillary means sub items. Okay, treated as supply of principal items. So they are all together treated as a principal supply. The ancillary industries which are related with the principal agent has not been charged any type of GST. The tax is not charged for them. Only for the principal organization, only for the principal items, only for the main product, only for the ultimate product, the GST has been implemented, the tax has been implemented. So this is the characteristics of a composite supply of the goods. how the GST has implemented. So the composite supply we understand, mixed supply also we understand. But you have to know separately what is the meaning, what is the example, how the tax is treated, and ultimately, as because why we are studying all these things, why we are studying repeatedly all these things, as because ultimately we have to prepare a report for it. The report is based on all these mixed, composite, and normal supply of the goods, exchange of the goods. So once you do not know how to calculate the composite supply, mixed supply, normal supply, you won't be able to do the ultimate report. The report always needs data, and data we have to accumulate from all these sources. These are the sources to collect the data for the purpose of what? To prepare the report for the financial status. Ultimately, we have to see the financial status of the business because the creditors, investors are waiting to invest in your business, suppliers waiting to supply to your business, customers are waiting to buy from your business. So, if all this, everything depends on what? Your financial status, at which stage you are in. Your liability is more or your asset is more. Definitely, to get a good financial position, our assets should be more than our liabilities, which of course not comes here. But here we have to calculate our position. And for that purpose, supply of all these goods, normal, mixed, composites, are very important. Now, mixed goods, as I told you already, mixed supply. Mixed supply, it is under section again 2, subsection 74. For composition of good composite goods, what we get? Subsection 30, 30. Remember it. Section 30. Same thing, 2. The section 2 only. But subsection is what now? 70. Yes, correct. What it is? It is 74. Section 2, subsection 74 of the, again, which act? Yes, it is CGST. Correct. What is the meaning of CGST? Central Goods and, yes, Service Tax. Now, this definition is given under the Section 2, subsection 74 of the CGST Act. Two or more individual supplies are there. Individual supplies. Remember, I'm giving stress on the word individual supply. Why? As because there is an identity of each and every goods. They're not blended. They're not blended. Each and every item has their own identity. Not naturally blended. They are not blended. You can use it separately. There is a kit for makeup. Different products are there. Products are different. So you can use those products separately. You can give it to somebody else also. You can distribute also. So thereby what happened? Their identity will remain same as it is. So that is a mixed product supplied together for a single price. So this is what about the mixed product what we have already discussed. I don't want to continue with this one. Examples I can give you like for gift hamper, festival combo offers, then promotional packers, free items blended with the taxable goods and all. So you are most probably very much familiar with McDonald's, KFC. You like it very much, right? So there what happened? Combo. Mostly nowadays it is written combo. What is combo? Jumbo pack with the combo offer. Wow, very nice. What other things comes? One Coke, one burger, one French fries. Fantastic. But they have their own identity. Burger you can have separately also. French fries you can have separately also. Coke you can have separately also. But there is a combo pack. When you take the combo pack, you cannot deny to pay that. I'm not going to take this burger. I want to take only the French fry and this one from this. Please deduct my amount. No, no, no. Nobody is going to deduct that amount. What do you have to do whenever you take the combo pack? You have to pay the price for whether you are taking or not. That is a different thing. You have to pay the price for that combo pack, which includes everything. So this is known as combo pack. That's why it is under maybe the gift hamper. It is festival combo. Festival combo mostly we are using nowadays for the gift purpose. Mostly for the gift purpose and for sweets and all to distribute in the Diwali. So all these are the examples of what? Mixed supply examples. Now let us see the next mixed supply tax treatment. We don't want what is mixed supply. We just have to know that Different products are there. Now, what is the tax treatment in the mixed supply? Highest GST rate among items applicable. Yesterday also we have discussed. Enter value taxed at highest rate. Separate identification of items required. Identification is required, that is one of the characteristics. But tax is calculated on the basis of the value of highest rate product. Highest rate product. Can you tell me what is the highest rate among all these three items of McDonald's? One is burger, one is Coke, another is French fries. Yeah, that is correct. The correct answer is burger. So whatever the tax is calculated, it will be calculated on that burger on the highest value. Fine. So this is what the treatment of tax. Hope you understood, because all are familiar with all this type of combos, right? Very good. Now see, composite versus mixed supply, very, very important for you for the exam purpose. What is composite, what is mixed, we know. But whenever it has been asked in the exam, what is the difference between mixed as well as the composite supply? So you have to mention certain points. So what points you have to mention? Let us see. These are certain points. This is the composite supply. This is the mixed supply. So in case of the composite supply, it is naturally blended. It is not naturally blended. It is principal supply, no principal supply. Tax rate of principal supply, highest tax rate. We have already discussed all these things. Ordinary business practice, artificial combination. Very important point, the last point is. These 3 points we have already discussed. The fourth point, what I have mentioned, is ordinary business practice and artificial combination. This is ordinary business because we need that one. That is compulsorily be there to blend, to sell the product. The blended product is compulsory. We have to prepare. But it is made by us for certain reason, for the promotion of the business. Different type of like promotional steps we can take for this purpose with the artificial combinations. Okay, sari with a earring, isn't it? A shirt with a clip, nice clip. Okay, short clip. These are the combinations. If you provide, you can attract the people very nicely. And on that purpose, how the tax will be calculated? On the principal product, main product, highest valuation product. So these are the differences between the composite supply as well as the mixed supply. We got only 4 differences. You can find out if you want more and more differences. But these 4 differences are very, very important. Okay. These are the primary differences, right? Now,